How's everybody doing? So here I have my 1911 kind of just partially stripped. I wanted to take a look at all my goodies here. Really, I wanted to take a look behind my firing pin cap here. But I took this out to the range and it did super good. Everything went down the pipe. The magazine that I got with my 1911 is just one of these GI issue jobs, and in one round it did like a miniature stovepipe. So it hit the very top of the barrel. Basically, it went up the. Actually, there's the feed ramp. So it kind of just wedged a little bit like that. So it's kind of like a little stovepipe. And that is this thing's fault. These aren't the best. I'm going to try to get my hands on some Chip McCormick's, because that is supposedly the best one for these older war horses here. So, yeah, I took a look at two of my springs. I haven't opened the mainspring housing. Kind of don't feel like I need to, because these things are nice. These springs are super nice. They're in really good shape. There's no deformations. There's no binding, twisting, nothing like that. These are really good. I'm thinking that when this super sweet chrome lined barrel from 1985, when that was installed in this firearm, it just wasn't touched from that point forward. And this barrel is so sweet. Look at that. Very nice barrel. I'm very happy that I got a chrome line barrel, because if it was an older barrel, I would need to go and buy one of these anyway, just to be able to shoot it. So this is an excellent barrel. And like the inside of this is just really nice. We have some slide marks here, not a big deal on the inside there, if you can see that. Yeah, you can. So that's the only kind of rubbing. Everything else inside is super dark and very, very nice. So yeah, I'm super happy with this firearm. I did have, and I kind of want to talk about it a little bit. The slide. Okay, so I got what I wanted. I got a slide that kind of matches the same patina as this, the frame, and I also got, well, I was lucky. I didn't get the idiot mark. The idiot scratch isn't there. A little of the Parker is removed a little bit, but it still has the Frank J. Atwood right there, and there's no real bad scratch, so I'm very surprised about that, honestly. But I got what I wanted, which is a 1944 barrel, or not barrel, but slide and receiver. They're both the same make. And just to show you what I found behind here, I don't think you're gonna be able to see it because of the light. Anyway, right on the very bottom where the firing pin's gonna go is just a G stamp. That just means government. So this is made to fulfill a government contract. That's all that means. If you go into the earlier serial numbers, they're going to have the actual serial number of the firearm. So the frame and the slide, you can match them. But it stops at about the 1,400,000 mark, something like that. It stops very early in the production runs. So yeah, this is only for early 1911s. But the slides, I had someone comment on my previous video, and I wanted to touch base with it, because on my first unboxing of this, I said I got what I wanted, and I'm glad I didn't get the IWI replacement slide. And there's a bunch of different reasons for that. And the community actually is kind of, I want to say divided. That's kind of like a trigger word or whatever, but there's some strong opinions. Okay, so the one individual that responded to the video was very proud, was very, very happy, or he was convincing himself, one of the two, about getting an IWI slide. Okay, so some people like that. Okay, some people genuinely like it. The slides are heat treated, they're newer, they're gonna have, I would say the metallurgy is basically the same, unless you get a 1911 actual, with the poopy metallurgy on their slides, then you're not gonna be able to fire it all that much. You're gonna worry about cracking, the stresses from being fired. So this slide's just fine. I'm gonna be able to put a bunch of rounds through it. I'm not going to personally, but I can. The IWI slides, they're newer, okay? That is actually the detraction from them, okay? So when you're talking about CMP 1911s, you've got the different grades, okay? You've got your service grade, that's the high end, the highly parkerized, the highly sandblasted, whatever that is. And some people really wanted that one. They sell out fast. And then they started realizing, one guy on there, he got a replacement slide on his service grade. And we're talking like $1,250, I believe is what it was. And he got lit. He was lit, man. Like seriously, he threw this giant fit. And then that caused this big thing on the forum. You had people trolling him. Of course, you're gonna have those type of people that say, hey, it's in the description and all this garbage and whatnot. And then he's saying, I didn't lay down all this money for a replacement slide. But, in truth, it is in the description. Yeah. But anyway, you do have those kind of people. And then you have some people that they're upset. But what they do is they go and they find a replacement slide that matches the receiver that they have. And they do have a forum section on there. It's like guys looking for slides. That's basically the whole thing. And you could sell your slide like a Colt, Ithaca, Remington Rand slide, whatever. And, match it up to what you have here, the receiver bit. But this initial person went kind of crazy. And I think that's one of the reasons why CMP redid their forums, because that took like 3 to 4 pages of just angst. That's all it was. It was old man angst is what it was. All these older guys got into it and they were just hashing it out, man. It's like, damn, we are 45 ACP fans. We are 1911 fans. If this guy has his opinion, let him have it. Let it boil down and, be okay. But people were antagonizing this guy. People were, it was just an inflammatory comment section. I read a little bit of the circus, but then I was like, I don't have time for this, because I was looking at what numbers were coming out, what numbers were being called, to try to find out when I would get called. And, so here, like I said, you got service grade, field grade, range grade, and rack grade. I would put range grade under rack grade, honestly. But so service grade is the highest grade, and field grade's next. And see, the difference is rack grade is the roughest grade. Okay, you see, I've got a bunch of, there's some part missing on my grip here. That's about it. I mean, here it looks like somebody took a dent to the forehead with this thing. But aside from that, some scratches and stuff, man, shoot, this thing is clean. And so, I mean, I have heard that there have been some lemons of rack grades, and that's still like $1,050. That's some money. But I've heard that there have been some lemons of these things. I feel very blessed that I have what I have. Very blessed. So range grade is where you expect to find some of the newer parts, because that's really in their description. So in range grade, you're going to have the sight replacements, okay? They're going to have those sights that are adjustable here. You're going to have a more block style front sight instead of this rounded front sight. You might even have ported slides, you know. Here you're going to have trigger jobs. You're going to have skeletonized triggers, skeletonized hammers more than likely. You may actually have, I don't know, I haven't seen it, but you might have flared magwells because, let's face it, this bad boy is extremely tight. I mean, look at that. You know, there's no flare in that at all. So, and what it is, that range grade are for those shooters. They were doing shooting competitions and whatnot, so they were allowed to take their 1911s and, you know, Gucci them out, basically, is what it is. They could put, I don't know why you would change the trigger, it's just silly, but they would skeletonize the trigger and all that good stuff and just make it more of a hot rod of a 1911. A big deal with those was doing the sight jobs. You know, I was very blessed. I don't have mash sights. Look at those pretty clean, crisp sights. That's awesome. A lot of these have one side's completely mashed down like that because of the way that they were shipped. Completely destroyed. But mine are still very pretty. I like to brag on that because a lot of pistols, service grade, it doesn't matter what grade, a lot of them have crushed sights, which is just a shame. But, you know, so in range grade, you expect those slides. But these, you know, the IWI slides they're in service grade all the way down, all the way down. There are even rack grades that have those slides. And in my experience, combing through the forums, people just don't like those slides. Because what you're doing is when you're entering into this lottery and stuff, you're hoping for the piece of history. You're hoping for a matching set. That's a big hope a lot of guys have. It's a matching set. Early on, people were getting the United Switch and Signal firearms until CMP realized that those were rarer firearms and that they could get a lot more in the auction site. So round 1, round 2, they kind of just sent them away. But round 3, there's no way in hell they're going to send away a United Switch and Signal. Not even a part of it. They're going to keep those parts. So whoever got those, God bless you. You guys are awesome, and you know, just keep them. Don't let go of them because they are worth money. I saw one. What was a gun broker, and they were trying to sell a complete set, United Switch and Signal, for 10 grand, something like that. It could have been 7, but regardless, it was expensive. And you know, so what you're looking for match sets. I think I was looking for a Colt, but that's okay. If I didn't get a Colt, I'm happy with my typewriter company, you know, and actually these are more indicative of what troops would carry. I mean, they would carry both, but Remington Rand made the most of them. So it makes sense that I got a Remington Rand. It's just how it is. And actually, I really love the checkering back here on this mainspring housing here. I love that checkering. It's so great, very aggressive. When I was holding it at the range, it just felt super good. But you know, the common ones are the lines that the Colt would have, or Ithaca would have those as well. So, but these are common as well, of course, as Remington Rand, but I love the look and the feel of them so much better. But back to the slides, you know, when you're buying these, you know, the main thing you're after, the roll mark, you know, United States property, and I've got the Army right there, U.S. Army, and you're looking for that roll mark, and you're also looking for one of the makers. You know, you want to get that Remington Rand, you want to get the Pony, you want to get the Ithaca, you know, you want that. It's what you want. If you were wanting that you know, IWI slide, then you're gonna, you know, go for the range grade. You're gonna want that shooter that people have done it for the national match. Yeah, you're gonna want those. I think, The barrel doesn't matter so much. They were giving original barrels back to people in round 1, round 2, but these barrels, they don't matter too terrible much now. I mean, I think it makes it a very shootable firearm, that I have this beautiful barrel and a really nice set of springs. I don't need to replace these at all. They're awesome. A lot of guys do replace the springs because I guess they don't trust the armorers. I guess it's not a bad deal, but I mean, for a rack grade to have such nice springs, I'm very, very pleased. And you know, if you have an IWI slide and you're happy with it and you're proud of it, that's good, most excellent to you. But a great majority of the firearm enthusiasts, the people that go into this lottery, they're gonna want that provenance kind of. They're gonna want that nice slide that harkens back to the 1944 era. It's just intrinsic to the firearm, you know, kind of. That's kind of why I wanted a Colt, because Colt is the one that developed these bad boys. Everyone else just stepped in to make them from the pattern of Colt, but it's a Colt firearm basically. Even when I got this from my FFL, they don't deal with this stuff much, even though they're a huge chain. They're not a huge chain, it's a huge store, but they listed this as a Colt on the stickers and stuff on the outside of my box. It didn't get my hopes up because I didn't see that before I saw, you know, that it's a Remington Rand. It's nice. Typewriter company stepping up to make tools for our boys overseas. Awesome. But yeah, you know, I will dump on the IWI slides because I don't feel that they should be on these frames, honestly. That's an armorer deal, and really it is disappointing when you don't get a piece of provenance right here, a good solid slide, because that's something else you have to buy. If you don't have something to match your receiver, let's face it, all the receivers are going to have the roll mark that everybody wants. All of them will. Even those range grade ones, they are going to have these. Okay, it's just common that you would want this. It's a given, and I think people that are happy with their IWIs, good, more power to you, brother. But me personally, yeah, I was dreading it. That was the one thing I was dreading, and I know that it has caught other people off guard. You know, they rolled up to their FFLs. They're thinking that they're going to get one of the main makers and whatnot, and it's going to be a sweet firearm that they can pass down to their children and grandchildren. And then when they see this like blank slide, yeah, I don't even know if it has IWI on it or anything. Yeah, from what I've seen, it's been blank slides, really. But yeah, they don't have, I don't believe they have the P mark on the back, right above the sight, rear sight. So yeah, it's just, that would be completely crushing, I think. And you know, for people to be caught off guard with that, that's something that would be heartbreaking, to me at least. You know, if other people have different opinions, if they feel differently about the slide, you know, more power to you. It will be a shooter, certainly. You can talk metallurgy and all that good stuff all you want, and another thing talking about metallurgy is some of these slides, if you go with service grade and field grade, I haven't seen any rack grade with this done to it, but on the part, what they'll do is, especially the front ends will have a quench to it, and it's for case hardening. So you have one here and the back end as well, and I think a little bit around here they'll actually have a little quench to just dip it in the oil or whatnot, kind of like what they did with the magazines. That's why you got the two-tone magazines. But they'll have that to harden up these slides. And that's from, you know, the whole repark and sandblasting and whatnot. That's why I wanted the rack grade. Just give me as close to original, give me, you know, the most history that I could get. You know, I mean, if it still had like a chunk of a helmet hanging off it or something, I would be like, yeah, that's badass. But yeah, I mean, I didn't want something that was messed with. I didn't want that at all. The barrel is fine, perfectly fine. The new springs, awesome, saves me from doing it. But I'm very glad with the 79-year-old warhorse that I have, or war typewriter that I have. see, I'm a little bit butthurt I didn't get a Colt, but it's okay. I have a matching set, and Remington Rand is perfectly fine by me. Especially the serial number that I have, it has went through their retooling process. If you guys know the history of what Remington Rand did, they first started cranking them out. They had some issues with quality, so they went through and retooled and got their stuff straight, and that's why they were able to crank out so much so fast, because they really got their P's and Q's straight, and they were able to produce quality firearms for our boys overseas. So, and from what I shot, I went through 57 rounds at the range. I didn't want to do too much, but I went through 57 rounds, and it just, you know, all but that one little stovepipe, which is the mag's fault, which those mags aren't the best. Everything just shot just fine. It was gorgeous. Slide actuated, everything was wonderful. Very crisp trigger pull. Man, you can't beat a 1911. So it was a little interesting to activate the slide release from my support hand, but I'm used to modern firearms like right here. Everything is right here, and I don't have to break my grip. But it's okay, because you do that, boom, you're still on target, you're still good. So beautiful firearm. Very glad to have it, and I'm glad not to have the idiot mark, to have my rear sights not crushed, a beautiful barrel, and the wonderful checkering of the Remington Rand backstrap there. Beautiful, beautiful. You guys take it easy, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.